Hello, thank you for checking in with me again. This is the diary entry for day 3 of the Zing Performance Program. As you can tell, I'm extremely tired, and it's not because of the exercises, because as you saw, they're pretty easy. It's because I haven't had much sleep over the last, few weeks. I keep waking up with ideas and I have to write them down. Sometimes I get back to sleep, but not always. My brain is overactive, like most or all ADHD people, certainly every single one I've met. And yeah, I really need it to just relax and switch off sometimes. But Winford says that this program will help with that, so I'm interested in finding that out, so that's why I thought I'd share it with you. Yeah, you probably be able to see from my bags, hopefully they'll go soon. Looking at these videos back, I'm thinking, wow, I really need some sleep. But yeah, I'm feeling it at the moment. So I'm just going to reflect on day 3. The 5 p.m. exercises that I did, the early ones. As I said in the last video, I realised that I was moving my head when I shouldn't have been, but I think I'm better at that now. I'm remembering to do the right or the left one properly, I think, most of the time. Well, obviously I'm following it, so it shouldn't be that hard. But I found it interesting today because the one where I had to follow my finger, it was every time it said with your right finger, and I'm used to it from before doing even left and right. And I think that might be due to how my actual eyes are, because I asked Winford if I could have my eyes tracked with his fancy eye tracker before I start the program and after the program, so that I can help, or just so that I can show people how my eyes change in that period of time. Now, I know from something else that I did years ago that I'm likely to talk about in another video, I know that it is possible for eyes that don't work together properly to then work together properly, because with a different program I actually had that happen to me, and so I went from not being able to understand what I read at all to being an English teacher, and that was absolutely incredible. So yeah, I'm wondering if the reason I only do the one side on the right side is because I remember when Winford tracked my eyes, he said something, I think he said my right eye was working, doing something different to my left eye, or the other way around. One of them wasn't behaving, I think, something like that. So I'll upload that video soon, so that everybody can see it. It's quite a long video, because Winford said that I can share it with people, so that's fantastic. And then you'll be able to see what's actually going on. The eye assessment, it's an actually part of the program normally. I just asked him if I could do it because I was super curious, because of the research that I've done in the past, which was linked to eye tracking. And sadly, the company that was doing my research for me as part of my master's, they no longer exist. So this is why I've been so excited to find Zing and be on the program. So now I'm doing with Zing all this awareness raising that I'm investing my time and energy in, is what I wanted to do years ago with that other company. So because it's life-changing once you can get your eyes from not working together properly. And like I said, I really could not understand what I was reading before, to then be able to understand is incredible. I have since messed my eyes up a bit doing a couple of things since then, but I'm not going to talk about it now. That can be another video because I'm going to focus on what I'm saying. So what I wanted to say was I would definitely recommend, if anyone does do the Zing program, to record yourself doing the exercises like I have. I mean, sure, upload them to YouTube, show everybody. I mean, the more awareness, the better. I'm sure Winford would be happy with that. But maybe just call Zing and just check it's okay first, because I checked it was okay. And yeah, so I would do that, because if I had not have videoed myself, I wouldn't have seen that my head was moving around when I was doing this. I was like following my finger like that. That defeats the object. My head is supposed to be still, and my eyes are supposed to be the ones that are moving, because it's an eye exercise, not a head exercise. So I would never have known that. And I wanted to say that okay, so I could have got somebody else to watch me do the exercises and get them to tell me. However, what I've realized is, from past experience, when people have done that for me before, really wanting to help me and, have the best intentions and everything, and I do want to be helped, I do find it really difficult to receive that kind of feedback when I'm trying my absolute best, like 110%, I'm putting all my energy into it, all my focus, and then, I literally can't do any better, but then somebody else is saying, it's not good enough, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do the next thing. It's too much for me to handle, because then I just start to spiral down and start to feel bad about myself. Oh, this is past anyway, that's the past me. The current me doesn't do that. So that's why it's nice for me to just look back at it in my own time and reflect, rather than have somebody adding more negativity, because the negativity that went through my head before, and I've tried really hard to stop that now, and I think I'm just about free of it now. The way that I talk to myself in my head, it is positive now. It's amazing. I never thought I would get to that stage, but I like to keep it that way. So it's definitely a challenge when you've been through the education system and had so many negative things, not necessarily, even if they're not said to you, not being able to reach what your potential is. That does make you feel negatively about yourself and your ability, because you somehow know in your heart that's what you can do and you've got a plan for it, but then for some strange reason it doesn't happen, time and time and time again. When that happens, then your self-esteem, confidence and stuff like that is obviously going to be affected. And it's another exciting thing about this program. Winford says that it helps confidence, and there are so many people, especially people who are neurodivergent, who could really do with some confidence. I will check in with you and let you know if I've got any more confident. I'm doing this, so I must be a bit more confident even after day 3. Now, I don't know if it is to do with the program or not. It's certainly inspired me to do this. I don't know. Maybe it is 3 days. Maybe 3 days is enough to get your confidence. I don't know. But these exercises are all specifically designed exercises based on the data that I inputted into the app on day 0 before I started it. And that is why it is said to have such a positive effect, because it's for my specific brain and how my brain is right now, because our brains change. Now they know. Research has shown that our brains can change, and that's the whole point of this. So I can tick that I've said that. I never would have realised. Yeah. Yeah, so this the self-confidence and negativity and all of these things that we feel and say to ourselves, there's no wonder that it happens, because we've been, when I say we, I mean neurodivergent people, ADHD, dyslexic, autistic, us, the group of people that we are that are not neurotypical. So we have been in a education system that was not designed for our thinking styles, and that is what causes the issues for us. Many of the issues. It's the environment that has had a negative impact on us. So I'm really a massive advocate for changing the environment, because we've got the power to do whatever we want now. We're not children. I mean, children haven't got that much power, but if they've got family, carers, anybody who can stick up for them, then that does empower them, but sadly not every child is as lucky as that. So and it's just due to awareness. Teachers are not taught this. I wasn't taught how to make my classes inclusive on my PGCE, and I know I'd like to think it's getting better, but it certainly isn't at the point that it needs to be right now. So what else was I going to say? Yeah, I've said everything. So there's so many more things in the Zing program that I haven't spoken about. EMDR is part of the program, and it's EMDR that doesn't involve any talking about any trauma at all. You just think about it, you don't say it out loud, and that is fantastic, because I've found when I've talked about things from my past out loud, it just re-traumatizes me every time, in different types of things that I've done. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so it's nice to not have to say that out loud. And that will be very interesting. So there's 3 sessions, and then you get to do the self EMDR. If you don't know what EMDR is, I will put a little link down there for hopefully an information leaflet type thing, to have a look at that. But the program that I'm doing, there's also ADHD coaching as part of it as well, which I'm really looking forward to. But these things are not part of the program so I can't do the EMDR until I've done 10 days of this program. Because when I've done that, then my brain will have the neuroplasticity that it needs for the EMDR therapy to work. And I'll just tell you very briefly, one trauma I was speaking to somebody about, it was last week, maybe a little bit before that. And it was in school, reading out loud. And I'm not going to go into detail now because I don't want to re-traumatize myself. But when I was explaining it, that feeling just came straight back. And I got to the point where I couldn't speak properly. The words I was trying to say, I couldn't say, because my mind had gone back to that frozen state that I used to get into when I was in the classroom, where I couldn't think straight and I couldn't understand anything that was going on in the classroom. All I could think about was the trauma that was going to happen to me at some point, because it was a recurring trauma time and time again. And the teacher didn't know that I was going through that. Nobody knows. If people are quiet and don't say anything, then how are they going to know? They're not psychic. But nevertheless, that's what happened to me, and it's happening to children all over the world, even right now. So if you're a teacher, please don't do it. Please don't do it. When I taught English, I would ask for volunteers, and it was surprising that the people that I was trying to, not traumatize, because I knew there were some dyslexic students in my class. Many of them, since when I took the pressure off, they put their hand up to read and they read aloud, which was absolutely incredible for me, because they felt comfortable enough to read out loud, and take their time, and you know, that was just a really, really beautiful time for me when that started to happen. And I do think that some of that was because I used to speak openly about my dyslexia, and I used to use overlays in the classroom, and I gave them out to everybody. So if the classrooms did feel like a place where people could just learn in whatever way they wanted to, and they weren't like trying to hide and feel awkward. And you know, when I first started teaching, people would say, oh, please don't tell anybody that I'm dyslexic. Please don't tell anyone that I use an overlay, but I do need an overlay to read, to understand it, but don't tell anyone, because they must have been bullied at school, or they felt singled out and things like that. And talking of overlays, I actually filmed Winford Dorr talking about overlays last Sunday when I had my eyes tracked. So I will upload that video here, just so that you understand why overlays work, because not everybody knows, and I knew it, but when he asked me, I said, oh yeah, I know it, but I was kind of caught on the spot, and I couldn't really articulate what it was. So he does explain it fairly well, so I'm going to upload the video so you can see that. And I asked him to record it so that I could share it, so I'm sure he'll be fine with that. Anyway, take care. Bye.